Hey Warriors, we found this bedroom set on Facebook Marketplace for free. And now we just have to do a few fix-ups. We're not going to do any painting. We're just going to polish her up and send her right back out the door. Watch what we do. Welcome to our channel. I'm Jim, and this is my wife Cindy. We find old, outdated, used, and sometimes abused furniture like this and turn it into this. Join us on our journey of furniture makeovers. The first thing to do on any piece is to clean it, whether you're painting or not. And normally we would use crud cutter to clean our pieces, but that's because normally we paint our pieces. Now in this case we didn't want to use crud cutter because crud cutter is actually also a deglosser, which means it would take the shine away. And we did not want to take the shine away on these pieces. So we're just using Palmolive dish soap. You can use Dawn. Dawn is really good at degreasing and getting all the oils off. And then Cindy attacked these drawers, and as you can see, the paper was not just laid in there like we thought, it was actually glued in. It was like a self-stick paper. So Cindy spent the better part of probably a couple hours trying to get all these shelf liners or papers, whatever you want to call them, out of the drawers. And eventually they did all come out. They didn't leave any residue, thank goodness, so there really wasn't anything we had to clean off the bottoms of the drawers. But what a mess this was. And when she finally got it all off, as you can see, there was quite a pile of papers left behind. We discovered that the headboard actually had a split in the wood, so we actually kind of forced that split apart front to back. We didn't have any room, we couldn't get a gap in there, so we just kind of pushed the wood back as far as we could. We put glue on the top of one of the surfaces, and then as you can see we kind of pushed it back so it was level again and got some glue that was in there. And really there's no stress to speak of on this part of the headboard, so really all we wanted to do is get it glued well enough that it would just hold it from slipping back and forth. And once we got the glue in, we wiped it all down with a wet cloth. This nice thing about wood glue is you can wipe it right off while it's wet and it won't leave any residue. So we just carefully wiped everything off, and then we moved on to the next repair. So the next repair we had to do was actually in the center of the dresser underneath, there was a foot that the foot had kind of come loose. It was just a support foot. You can see it there right in the center. And as it turns out, the board that it's attached to that ran across the dresser was actually split. So we were going to originally take that and unscrew it. And I took the two screws out, only to find out that the piece is not just screwed in, they screwed and glued it. So we decided that we would go ahead and glue it and clamp it right in place. We just needed that one piece of wood to be secured and glued together so that it wouldn't budge. Okay, so on the dresser, one of the bottom tracks on the drawer, you can see it's kind of split here. So we're just going to glue and clamp that up. This is why we keep extra screws around. Yep, so although we had the hardware for this piece, there was a screw missing. Sometimes that happens when you pick up pieces. So we always have our wire cutters that are also screw cutters. We just cut a new screw and attach the piece of hardware. Good as new. So they should be all dry at this point. Clamp off. There we go. Yep, looking good. Let's get this back in. Okay, and this should all be dry too. We're going to go ahead and take off the clamp. Yeah, the whole piece is moving by itself, so it should be good. So while I'm thinking about it, see that right over there? If you guys would do us a favor and hit that subscribe button and that like button, sure be appreciated. Lets us know that we're doing something you like and that you like our content and what we're showing you. And I'll just go ahead and finish screwing this in while you guys take care of that. Okay, I'm all done. You? Perfect. There you go.
Oh.
And one of the last things we had to take care of, there were just a few minor places where you could see the wood in the finish. Looks like the finish, just because of age, split a little bit. So we just touched those up with some stain. And really, we could have used almost any color on this, any brown color, because of the variation, as you can see in the wood. Just about any color we used probably would have worked okay. So we just dabbed some in there with a brush. And then when we were done with that, we just wiped it off. And that took care of all the little chips that were in the surface of this. And you can see it looks brand new. The last thing we needed to do was make the pieces look all spiffy shiny again. So Cindy took some Howard's Feed and Wax and used a good old wax brush and rubbed all that into all the surfaces, both on the nightstand and the dresser and the headboard. And then after that sat for about 20 minutes, we wiped it all down, gave it a nice shiny finish. Last but not least is setting everything up for staging. So I just thought we'd show you a little bit of how we do that, how we stage. In this case, sometimes we stage in the house, but this piece was so heavy, we were not about to move it into the house. So we used our staging area out in the garage to stage this. And then once we take our pictures, we crop them to make them look nice. And we were all ready to post on Facebook. So just thought we'd show you a little bit of how we get everything staged and ready to go. So there you go, warriors. We got this piece, well, all three of these pieces, free on Facebook Marketplace. You're not going to come across them all the time, but occasionally you will. You just have to keep looking and get on there as often as you can, and you will run across these. So when you do, make sure you grab them as soon as you can, because they're well worth it. We're going to be listing this piece for $335 on Facebook Marketplace. We'll see what happens, and we will update you in one of our future videos when this piece sells and let you know how things worked out. So once again, we appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a flippin' awesome day.